All right, so sticking with our sci-fi theme, the next one I have to recommend is called "The Long Way Round to a Small The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet." The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and it's very recent and it's excellent. It's so much fun. It's about it's sci-fi, but it's like there's action, but it's also more just about the characters on this spaceship, getting to know the characters and the characters getting to know each other, and they're aliens and stuff, and the aliens are really well defined and like who they are, and they have their own culture and stuff, and it kind of makes us reflect as humans on our culture and why we act the way we do and why these aliens are better or worse than us, and what do we have to offer. Like if there was actually alien species, would we be considered anything but the worst of them? So no, it's brilliant, and it's written at like a grade 8-9 reading level, so it's quite excellent. Like The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I highly recommend it. On the sci-fi theme, you'll notice I have a lot of sci-fi novels. I'm a big sci-fi fan recently. I don't know, last 5 years, that's like all I read. The next one is called The Martian. You've heard of it, by Andy Weir. The Martian is great if you love science. Now, it's more of a grade 10 reading level, and it has some swears and stuff in it. All of these books have a few little things like that, but nothing too ridiculous. But The Martian, which they've made a movie out of, the book is much better than the movie, and the movie's great. The movie's great, but the book is amazing. And if you especially like science, so like real science, smart science, like I would recommend it. It doesn't get too much over your head, but it gives you just enough to be super interesting. It gives you just to be super interesting.
Can we watch the movie?
Sure, in a bit. But I have to get through these first. So the next one I would recommend is Station 11. Again, a sci-fi novel. I can't believe I have so many sci-fi novels. I think it's because sci-fi novels are the ones that nobody else talks about, or not enough people talk about. So yeah. So the next one I have to talk about is called Station 11, which a number of you have already read. Station 11 is, the world ends, bad things, the world ends, almost everybody dies, and it's about how the survivors get on. So how do the survivors get on warlords and survival and finding food and stuff. And it doesn't get into like the big epic about mankind's recovery, but it just talks about like what would the 50 years right afterwards, or the 40 years right afterwards, and how would it look. And it's beautifully written.
Aliens are from are from the green aliens heads are from green aliens are from oh that's
Green aliens are from somewhere. Okay, the next one, because I thought of Station 11, the next one that comes to mind immediately after is called The Passage by Justin Cronin. The Passage, now this one's more mature.
Green aliens are from yes.
Yes, green aliens are from space. That is good. That is accurate.
And from Darth Vader from Star Wars.
Darth Vader is from Star Wars. Yes, he is. All right. So the next one by Justin Cronin is The Passage. Now it's more mature. So not only is that a grade 11 reading level, but there is some sex and violence and such. So keep that in mind. But it is more, it's like it's an end of the world type thing, but it is exceptionally well done. It's one of the best series I've read in the last 10 years.
I will show you how Darth Vader looks like.
Okay, show me. Okay, go find it. Okay, so the Passage. It's again about an apocalypse type event, but it's like actually about vampires. The vampires are really, really, really real, and how mankind can overcome like vampires taking over the world pretty much and destroying everything. And it's our recovery from it though. Like it's like the vampires come, kill everybody, and then it's like what happens over the next hundreds and hundreds of years and such. Like it's brilliant. Like if you wanted, like World War Z is a brilliant zombie novel. This is a brilliant vampire novel. Absolutely brilliant. I highly recommend it if you love like sci-fi, end of the world type recovery, dystopia type things, but also if you can handle the maturity of the novel, frankly. The next one is not sci-fi. This one's just plain old fiction. It's called The Illegal by Lawrence Hill. It won a number of awards. Canadian author. Again, I would recommend this just because it's kind of beautiful. It's about a guy who illegally immigrates to a country and how he like tries to survive in this new country, how he tries to get on as a refugee slash illegal immigrant. And it helps put you in the mind of what it would be like to be an illegal immigrant, to be someone who's trying to survive in a country that maybe really doesn't want you, but you have something to offer and you can't go back to the country you were just in. Like the conditions were horrible and you would have died. Like what do we do with these people as Canada? What do we do with illegal immigrants? And it puts you in the mind of like, yeah, illegal immigrants. So it's a beautiful story. I do recommend it. Another non-sci-fi one is The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. And it's by Jonathan. I don't know, something like that. Again, this is a fun one. Talk to Miles if you want to hear about it. I think he's the only student who's read it. But it's super fun and it's super original. So yeah, do it. Just, yeah, do it. I don't want to give you almost any details except the title tells you a lot already to some extent. So I'm almost done, Gillian. I'm almost done. The next one, which is also not science fiction, but it's one of those like, preteen like drama ones, but I really liked it. It's called Eleanor in Park by Rainbow Rowell. Rainbow Rowell. Rainbow is like the first name, Rainbow Rowell. Eleanor and Park. And it's kind of beautiful. It's like the perspective of some 16-year-old boy who's like a bit of a loner, but like accepts who he is. Killian, give me a second, okay? You have to wait. Yeah, but of course, there's a girl involved, and there's emotions involved and hormones, and there's like preteen, issues, but it's actually really well written and really fun. So I liked it. Did you wait? Just wait. We're almost done. The next one, we're going back to sci-fi. I would recommend anything by Margaret Atwood, but just keep in mind that if you read anything by Margaret Atwood, keep in mind that it is it's going to be somewhat inappropriate, not inappropriate, but just be aware that there's going to be sex and violence and work. It's definitely more of a grade 12 type stuff. So The Handmaid's Tale, not so much like the writing though. Like the writing in The Handmaid's Tale can be accessed by a grade 9, but the content is very her talking about rape and stuff is very common. She doesn't get graphic, but it's just a real thing. So again, The Handmaid's Tale is brilliant. And I don't even need to go into it because it's just so famous. And I would highly recommend you look it up. But also Oryx and Crake. Oryx and Crake is probably one of my favorite Margaret Atwood novels, called Oryx and Crake. But again, it's really powerful. And it's more of a grade 12 reading level. It's about also kind of end of the world. It actually is. It starts like that. Like the last man alive is telling the story about how the world ended. So it's pretty intense. And he's a not nice person most of the time. So he's really hard to like. He's kind of crazy. Another sci-fi novel. I mentioned this one because there's a movie being made. There's another movie. So Dune by Frank Herbert is one of the most famous science fiction novels of all time. It's more of a grade 11 reading level, and it too is a little maybe dicey when it comes to content. But not as bad as.
Take a video of us.
Yeah, we are taking a video of us. This is a video of us.
No, it isn't.
Yes, I will show you afterwards. I will show you the video afterwards. But here, let me just finish talking about Dune. So, Dune by Robert Herbert. There's a movie coming out. It has some big actors that you'll know, so look it up. Dune movie to 2020. It probably won't come out to 2021, but whatever. And again, as far as sci-fi goes, it's absolutely brilliant. Happens, they're like humans, but they don't talk about Earth or anything because it's like maybe it happens in the future. Maybe it's just Earth-like humans on other planets.
Dr. Doom.
Dr. Dune? Oh, you're Dr. Doom. Oh, the bad guy, Dr. Doom. It's Dune, but again, highly recommend it. It's about there's politics and diplomacy involved, but lots of violence and fighting and my goodness, it's just And then you can watch the movie in 6 months when it comes out. Or whatever.
Doctor
Doom.
Doctor Doom is the bad guy.
Yes, he is a bad guy. So no, Dune, highly recommended. Oh my gosh, so good. But it is more of a grade 11, 12 reading level. So be prepared for that. If you want something that's more of a grade 8 reading level, something that's fun and frivolous,
No,
but
Dad,
super fun,
Dad,
Neil Gaiman is an amazing author. I have his name tattooed to my body.
Dad, look,
And he wrote,
look down at your table.
what am I looking at? Oh, the cut marks? I see those. I know. Okay, this one is The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. Now, anything by Neil Gaiman is really good, but some of his stuff is really long. Some of his stuff is inappropriate content. Some of his stuff is like grade 11, 12 reading
Can
level.
we do the Batman one?
Soon. But this one, The Ocean at the End of the Lane. The Ocean at the End of the Lane. This one's more of a grade 8 reading level. It's so much fun. It's really enjoyable. You'll laugh and you'll smile, and you'll at the end of it you'll be like, that was really good. You'll like be happy, and it's an easy way to get into Neil Gaiman. So if you like that, you can then start reading harder stuff by Neil Gaiman. All right. You know what? That's it. That's enough novels. I should go anyways. Okay. I will see you guys on Monday or whenever I see you, depending on when you watch this. But those are some book recommendations that you probably hadn't heard from me or from other people. And please choose one for May. I will speak to you when I speak to you. Cheers.